Today, we will talk about 10 most likely industries that can make you a billionaire. 10. Engineering. 4% of billionaires come from this sector, and to join them, basically, you'll need to design a piece of engineering wizardry that can solve a problem that nobody's addressed before. One that's clever enough to disrupt an entire sector of the market. A case in point is James Dyson, who invented the world's first bagless vacuum cleaner. And since then, he's branched out to a range of other appliances, including washing machines and hand dryers. And thanks to these pieces of savvy engineering, he's worth $16 billion, making him the UK's richest individual. If you've got an idea that's smart enough and the know-how to see it through to completion, you could even do it without any formal qualifications in engineering. Believe it or not, James Dyson doesn't have any. 9. Media and entertainment. 4% of billionaires. People will always want to be entertained. Music, films, TV, computer games, YouTube channels, good old-fashioned reading, or whatever forms of entertainment people dream up in the future. These are always going to be a big part of our lives, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that 4% of billionaires made their money in this field. And social media means that if you're an entertainer, it's never been easier to create a platform to brand yourself. People who made their billions from entertainment include Oprah and Jay-Z, and they both demonstrate that for entertainers to get into the ranks of the super rich, it helps to branch out from your core activity. In Oprah's case, publishing, and in Jay-Z's fashion. 8. Energy. 4% of billionaires. For a long time, this has been one of the surest ways to get wealthy. In the early days of the modern economy, many of the first super rich made their fortunes in energy, like oil tycoon John D. Rockefeller. And 4% of today's billionaires come from this sector. And we all consume energy, so this isn't likely to change. What will change is the type of energy we consume. And the boom sector in the near future is bound to be renewable energy. The world's becoming greener out of necessity. Besides, renewable energy is cheaper, and unlike oil or gas, it's unlimited in supply. 7. Fashion. 5% of billionaires. You may not have guessed that the fashion industry is such a heavy hitter, but think about it, and it makes perfect sense. Clothing is more than just a basic necessity. We're happy to spend money so we can wear something that makes us look good. And for a lot of people, one of the biggest motivations for putting in long hours is to be able to splash out on some high-end branded goods at the weekend. Also factor in that successful designers can make huge markups. That's because fashion items are priced by their perceived value more than the costs of commodities or real differentiation with other brands. If you hit on the right formula, there's huge potential to make big bucks. 6. Healthcare. 6% of billionaires. Of course, one of our most basic needs is to stay healthy, and we pay huge amounts of money on it. Whether directly on health bills, through taxes, or on health insurance, a large portion of this money makes its way into the bank balances of 6% of the world's billionaires. And it's no surprise that the pandemic has lifted more people in this industry up to billionaire status. And sure, being a doctor can make you wealthy, but billionaire? Probably not. The real potential for a 10-digit bank balance is in the pharmaceutical industry, or designing innovative medical devices, or founding a chain of private hospitals or clinics. 5. Retail. 6.5% of billionaires. Whether we do it online or whether we do it the old-fashioned way, in bricks and mortar shops, we'll need to keep on buying stuff one way or the other. So it's no wonder that this takes a high place on the list, accounting for 6.5% of billionaires. Keep in mind that it will probably produce fewer billionaires in the future. That's because most billionaires in this sector are heirs to fortunes that were built up over a long period of time. Like the 7 members of the Walton family, heirs to the Walmart fortune, or the Albrecht family, who inherited the Aldi business empire. 4. Food and beverage. 8% of billionaires. Whatever's happening in the world, we'll always need to eat and drink. And currently around 8% of the world's billionaires come from a food or drink background. To become one of them, you'll have got to figure out novel ways of producing food, or preparing and distributing it. People on the super rich list in this field include heirs to fortunes, including members of the Mars and Heineken families. But there are also quite a few self-made billionaires in this group, like Thailand's Thanin Chiravanant, who expanded his father's chicken seed shop into a farming empire worth $15 billion. And 3. Tech and business services, 9% of billionaires. Whatever the sector of the economy, nowadays it relies on tech. Businesses use it to do transactions, to communicate their message to the public, for distribution and logistics, and for much more. And of course, our private lives depend on tech too, to be entertained, to chat, to shop, or to hail a rideshare. And 9% of billionaires made their fortunes in tech. If that number is going to change, it's probably going to go upwards. New software and hardware is being developed and making previous versions obsolete faster than ever. And with the arrival of 5 grams and the opportunities it will bring, it looks like this is going to keep on accelerating. 2. Real estate, 9% of billionaires. So there's little wonder that huge amounts of money can be made in real estate, with 9% of billionaires today belonging to this industry. There are several paths into it. You could start off as a real estate agent, or you could set up a construction firm, or be a supplier of construction materials. Of course, most of Donald Trump's fortune is in real estate. Although his slightly over $2 billion fortune isn't a patch on the likes of other American real estate moguls like Stephen Ross, $7.6 billion, or Donald Brand, $16.4 billion, or any of the world's 5 highest players in real estate, who are all from China or Hong Kong, topped by Xu Jian, who's worth $37 billion. But wherever you're from, if you're savvy and have a bit of luck along the way, this is a great way to make a fortune, as some of the largest markups in recent years have been in real estate. 1. Banking and finance, 15% of billionaires. Think of any hugely successful company in any industry. Behind that success, there was somebody who knew exactly how to deploy money and then grow it. And thanks to their investment choices, they didn't just make that company a success. They also grew their own wealth big time. And banking and finance produced 15% of the world's billionaires today. Some of them made it as private investors, others from setting up investment firms, and others as venture capitalists. Warren Buffett is known by many as the world's greatest investor, and with a net worth of $90 billion. He's currently the 4th richest person in the world. Well, Aluxers, that's a wrap for today. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.